It's Thursday, December 13th. Once bitten, twice shy. Bearing in mind how the BJP stole a march over it post the Goa Assembly election results last year, where it emerged as the single largest party but wasn't nimble-footed enough to stake claim and cobble together the numbers, the Congress displayed some alacrity in Madhya Pradesh, having inched ahead of the BJP and closer to the halfway mark late Tuesday night. State Congress Chief Kamal Nath wrote to Governor Anandiben even as the Election Commission was wrapping up the counting of votes and staked claim as the single largest party. The letter said independent MLAs had pledged support. The BJP Madhya Pradesh State President Rakesh Singh also claimed the party will meet the governor and stake claim. It appeared we were in for a long drawn-out political slugfest, with Governor Anandiben's role becoming significant. BSP Chief Mayawati Wednesday morning pledged the support of her two MLAs.
जिसे रोकने के लिए हमारी पार्टी ने कांग्रेस पार्टी की सोच व नीतियों से सहमति न जताते हुए भी यहाँ मध्य प्रदेश में अपनी पार्टी का कांग्रेस पार्टी को सरकार बनाने के लिए समर्थन देने का फैसला लिया है.
Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who has had 3 terms in office, soon made it clear the BJP did not have the numbers and will not stake claim to form the government. The focus now shifts to who will helm the states in the Congress's kitty. In Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, it is a toss-up between the old guard and the new. In Rajasthan, it appears to be advantage Gehlot. State Congress President Sachin Pilot, the other contender for the Chief Minister's post, appeared to have lost out to his senior colleague. It was the same in Madhya Pradesh, where Kamal Nath has emerged as the leadership's pick instead of the younger Jyotiraditya Scindia. It was argued in both cases that Pilot and Scindia have age on their side and need to gain more experience before being given charge of a state. The final decision, though, mind you, is yet to be taken. The Congress had deliberately decided not to name chief ministerial candidates in the run-up to these elections to ensure that all aspirants worked unitedly for the party's victory. In Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, Pradesh Congress Committee chief, is the front-runner. Baghel, who's been a minister previously, is among the leaders to have taken centre stage for the Congress after almost the entire leadership of the party was killed in a 2013 Naxal attack. As the winter session of Parliament gets underway, there is a renewed pitch for the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill. Congress President Rahul Gandhi, in this letter to Chief Ministers of all Congress-ruled states earlier this month, exhorted that a resolution supporting the bill be passed in state assemblies. India ranks 148 out of 193 countries in terms of the percentage of women in Parliament. The situation is even worse in state assemblies, he points out. The Biju Janata Dal has also emerged as a champion of the Women's Reservation Bill and is rallying support. So, will the longest pending legislation in Parliament see the light of day? Here's everything you need to know about the subject from our archives. These unprecedented scenes in the Rajya Sabha of lawmakers from the Samajwadi Party, RJD, LJP and BSP ripping off mics, tearing up papers, intimidating the chair, it could be said, define the 2 decades of attempts made to give women more representation in India's highest legislative body. The Women's Reservation Bill did get passed a day later in the Rajya Sabha.
It is a bill which carries forward the process of emancipation of our women,
but has since been on the back burner. The bill is contentious, all right. This will give you an idea. The number of times the bill has sputtered and stopped. In the first general election held in 1952, only 14 women were elected. After years of sustained demands by rights groups that women who form near half of the population be given a seat at the table, the United Front government introduced a bill in 1996 that proposed 33% reservation for women. The proposed legislation failed to pass and then lapsed when the House dissolved in 1998. Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 1998 introduced the bill. It was a non-starter and lapsed when the House dissolved in 1999. Again, an attempt was made later in the year, but the bill failed to get the requisite backing. Another attempt was made in 2002, and then the bill introduced in 2008 was the one that saw passage in the Rajya Sabha in 2010. Let's understand the specifics of the proposed legislation. The bill seeks to reserve 1/3 of all seats for women in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes shall be reserved for women of these groups in the Lok Sabha and the legislative assemblies. Reserved seats may be allotted by rotation to different constituencies in the state or union territory. Reservation of seats for women will not be in perpetuity. Reservation for women will cease to exist 15 years after the commencement of the amended act. So again, big takeaways. Reserved seats will be rotated and there will be no reservation after 15 years. Wait, what is the percentage of women in our legislatures currently? Women make up just about 11% of the 543 seats in the Lok Sabha. Of all the states and union territories, as many as 17 have sent no women to parliament. Only 8 states have more than 10% of women members in their legislative assemblies. According to the Interparliamentary Union, India ranks 148th out of 193 UN member nations in the proportion of women elected representatives. Why is that? With no constitutional imperative, i.e. reservation, no party really fields women candidates. Look at this Brookings India working paper titled Women in Party Politics. Here, Shamika Ravi and Rohan Sandhu analysed Election Commission data on women candidates in Lok Sabha elections. Their study found that political parties just do not nurture women leaders. In the 2009 elections, women constituted only 7% of the total number of candidates. If we look at the breakup of this, we see that a majority of women candidates contested as independents. They inferred that the number of women running as independents, however, has been increasing at a much higher rate, indicating that more women are willing to run but are not being backed by political parties. Now, let's look at and contend with some of the arguments made by those opposed to reservation. The first contention: reservation is not required. Ensuring gender-sensitive men in politics will serve the purpose. So why have representation for any of the disadvantaged groups for that matter? Actively excluding disadvantaged groups by saying, we don't need you at the table, we will tell your story, just doesn't cut it. Why should women who form near half of the population not be part of legislative decision-making? Another contention: why reserve seats for women in parliament and assemblies? Why not reserve the number of tickets political parties have to give to women? Now, given the strong disinclination of political parties to give tickets to women, driven primarily by their belief that women candidates aren't winnable, which again is driven by the arguable gender bias in voting, what are the chances that making it compulsory to give a certain number of tickets to women will help? Political parties will very likely give women tickets to what are considered losing seats, where the party is certain to lose, basically making women dummy candidates. Another contention: men of merit will lose out. That can be answered with 2 questions. Are all men who are given tickets to contest given so on merit? What are the parameters on which merit is determined? Another argument: women will end up as proxies for fathers and husbands, quite like one has seen in panchayats. Yes, we've all heard of the concept of sarpanch pati. This is partly exaggerated to undermine women in politics. More importantly, the study of reservation in panchayats over time has shown increased social acceptability of women in leadership, which has resulted in more women, independent of husband or father, seeking to contest local body polls and winning. In fact, the 1/3 reservation of seats for women in Panchayati Raj institutions, brought in 1992 and ratified in 1993, has over time led to true grassroots democracy. Many states went further, reserving as many as half of the seats for women. For those that ask of women seeking equal opportunities, How much representation is enough? The iconic US Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has just the answer. She said of the 9-member US Supreme Court, "When I'm sometimes asked, when will there be enough women on the Supreme Court? And when I say 9, people are shocked. But there had been 9 men, and nobody's ever raised a question about that."
Right now, if you Google the word idiot under images, a picture of Donald Trump comes up. I just did that. How would that happen? How does search work so that that would occur?
This is Senator Zoe Lofgren, one of those quizzing Google CEO Sundar Pichai at a US congressional hearing over Google's alleged pro-liberal search engine manipulation. The search giant's processes of data collection, labeling, filtering, and Project Dragonfly, the so-called plan to launch a censored, pro-government version of Google in China, denying any bias, reiterating that Google is a company that provides platforms for diverse perspectives and opinions. This was Pichai's explanation for the Trump idiot connection.
For any time you type in a keyword, we, as Google, we've gone out and crawled and stored copies of billions of web pages in our index, and we take the keyword and match it against web pages and rank them based on over 200 signals. Things like relevance, freshness, popularity, how other people are using it, and based on that, at any given time, we try to rank and find the best results.
So it's not
for that
some
query.
little man sitting behind the curtain figuring out what we're going to show the user. It's basically a compilation of what users are generating.
Very quickly, it's not possible for an individual employee or groups of employees to manipulate our search results. We have a robust framework, including many steps in the process.
And with that, it's a wrap. You don't need to Google news. That's a topic on which we have you covered. Love your morning fix? Help support our journalism. Subscribe to Scroll Plus using the link in the description.